Okay, we are going to go over the diabetic plate method as a way to kind of control your carbohydrate intake without having to count carbohydrates. So if any of you guys have tried counting carbohydrates and it seemed too tedious for you, it seemed to be too much, or maybe you haven't tried it and maybe it just doesn't sound great to try, then that's totally fine. We can always do the plate method. So let me pull this out here. So the plate method is going to have three main areas that we're focused on. So it's still a great way to control your blood sugars, but you don't really have to count anything. We do definitely need to know though what is contributing to your blood sugar. So let's go over the plate method, just a quick review, and then we'll go over into what is raising your blood sugars. So in that number one, we have the non-starchy veggies. That's the largest portion of your plate. They are not raising your blood sugars. They have lots of fiber and they're actually slowing your blood glucose down. And then number two, we have the lean protein source. Again, not raising your blood sugar. It's actually slowing your blood glucose down. Number three, that's where the carbohydrates go. So that's a fourth of your plate or a fourth of your bowl or your snack or whatever, and it's raising your blood glucose, whatever that is coming from. So let's go over that real quick and how to know, because you can follow the plate method, but if you don't have the right components in that carbohydrate section, and let's say instead of non-starchy veggies, you're also doing starchy there in that really big portion, then you're not going to have as great of blood glucose control as you would like. So to kind of get familiar with the carbohydrate foods that are raising your blood sugar, I definitely recommend going over to that Carbohydrate Foods page on your handout on the Planning Healthy Meals. So that's the page that has the yellow headings. So it has the dairy, the starch, the grains, and the fruit. So all of those categories are going to raise your blood sugar. I would say the big one that people need to be aware of is dairy. Regular yogurt, regular milk, chocolate milk, things like that. You might think they have, they're a good protein source, whatever, and they do have protein, but they still have enough carb where they're going to raise your blood sugar. If we go under the starches and grains, any kind of grain product, whether we're talking about bread or crackers or chips or, anything like that, oatmeal, those are all going to be, carbohydrate heavy sources. We do want to focus on the fiber rich sources. So oatmeal is a whole grain, still has all the fiber in it, like a whole wheat bread with 3 grams of fiber or more per serving, as opposed to a white bread is going to be a better kind of carbohydrate source there. So like that oatmeal or that whole grain bread is not going to raise your blood sugar as much as like a white bread that doesn't have the fiber. And then starchy veggies. So that's the big one, where if you are, filling up your plate with veggies, but in your head, veggies is potatoes, then that's not the type of half the plate non-starchy veggies we're looking for. So all of your starchy veggies are under that starch grains category. So your beans, corn, things like lentils, peas, potatoes, winter squash, so like pumpkin and like acorn, that kind of thing. Those are all great sources of vitamins and minerals and glucose. They're a good energy source, but they are going to raise your blood sugar. So that's going to be limited to about a fourth of your plate instead of a half of your plate, which we want the non-starchy veggies to be that full half plate. Okay, so that is the diabetic plate method, which is, kind of that way that we can kind of portion out your meals without having to carb count, but still have really good blood glucose control.